Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tracetainment. Thanks so much for tuning in with me. It's a pleasure to have you here. If you're new to the channel, do not forget to click the subscribe button so you don't miss none of the videos that I post. In today's video, I seen it coming. There was so much momentum behind Donald Trump throughout his rallies, throughout campaigning, and he was working non-stop. And his rallies were huge. I mean, look at his rallies. They were tons and tons and tons of people. I knew that there would have been a lot of meltdown everywhere, because some were voting for one side and some were voting for the other. As many expected, The View was not happy. They had a total meltdown. Here's what people think about it. Check this clip out.
State, Pennsylvania, and at this point, the jubilation has devolved into delirium. Don, come 11 a.m. today, how are you going to celebrate, Don?
Well, I'm going to watch The View.
There you go. Don?
Now, I'm going to say this. A lot of people were waiting for The View to drop a video. People were saying there's no way that people will vote for him. People need to go out. And then, so a lot of people were waiting on this video to drop, and then it finally happened. And I'm telling you guys, it was a meltdown.
Watching The View. And why are you watching The View, Don?
Well, I'm gonna tape it in case I'm not home, but I want to tell Whoopi Goldberg, you're fired. Get out of here.
All right, Don just fired Whoopi. But obviously, the celebration's important, but there are real issues our country is facing.
So you guys just heard what Don said. That's what he wanted to tell Whoopi. And I love when the reporter said we have real issues to deal with. There's a lot of real issues. There's a lot of real issues that we have to deal with right now. There's a lot of things happening that shouldn't be happening. And it's a big difference between how the country is now versus how it was back then. And a lot of people want to go back to a time where we were back then as the reason why President Donald Trump had more votes. Now, some of the media said that they're shattered. I don't understand why. We need to get back to where we used to be, where our lives were normal, where things wasn't so expensive, when we had peace. Check this clip out.
We were just talking about Harris's supporters and members of the liberal media. They're apparently shattered and in disbelief over Trump's win. Here is some of that reaction.
I'm profoundly disturbed. I'm worried about mass deportation and internment camps. What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding.
These guys on the other side inevitably start picking off individual journalists, individual publishers, individual news organizations to try ultimately to turn us all into some American accented version of RT.
Can't help but wonder if the American people have given up on democracy.
I'd like to know what that says about us as a country.
Joe Concha is a
uneducated. I think they are very educated. They've been seeing what's been going on. They do not want to deal with it. They seen how both campaigns were going, and they made an ultimate decision. It was time for some change. Their voices were finally heard. People did not want to continue what we've been dealing with.
Fox News contributor. He joins me now. Joe, admittedly, I spent my entire 5-hour car ride back watching the lie-based media meltdown from start to finish. I was on Twitter, I was on X, I was on everything you could find. Your response to what you heard from the mainstream media?
This has been the bestest week ever to watch television in general, especially when you watch places like The View talking about how Donald Trump is going to put people in internment camps and have journalists arrested. And look, he's never been president before, so we don't know what's coming. That's right, he was president 2017, 18, 19, 20, and none of this happened. All the things they're predicting will happen did not happen. Look.
Yeah, I feel like they just want to strike fear in people for no reason at all. He was president before, and none of this stuff happened. So I don't even understand why they're mentioning stuff like that. I don't even understand why they're trying to put fear in people, because at the end of the day, all they got to do is look at when he was president. Was any of that stuff going on?
Legacy media is dead. And I know I don't talk in those terms, but look at what happened. You saw Donald Trump go on places like Joe Rogan's podcast, and that interview that went on for 3 hours has been viewed more than 90 million times, right?
Wow.
And Kamala Harris refused to go on a place like that. She'll go to CNN or MSNBC and do a softball interview, and apparently that didn't help her very much. So this reaction we're going to see now for the next 4 years, but no one's listening anymore. You call a guy a fascist, Hitler, garbage for the last 9, 10 years, and after a while, like you read to your kids, the boy who cried wolf, people stop listening.
Yeah. And I just had to laugh a little bit at that PBS reporter who said, I can't help but wonder if the American people have given up on democracy after a democratic election played out. Are you kidding me? And decided decisively, with that both President Biden and Kamala Harris have said as much. And it's also like, have you not learned anything from what just transpired? Where if the members of the media criticize the American people, Donald Trump has already won the popular vote. A majority of the American people want him as president. Yeah. They're not going to support your side.
Yeah, and I find it crazy that they keep dropping comments and mentioning things like that, because people right now feel so divided between each other, and that we shouldn't feel that way. At the end of the day, we should be able to share different beliefs and still sit at the same table, have nice conversations, and just laugh about it. Because in the end, if we push everything aside, we are all who we have left. Humans. That's all that we have left. There just has to be a better understanding. We can have different beliefs. You can support something that I don't support. But at the end of the day, that is not going to make me not like you. We should be able to support who we want to support. We should be able to believe in who we want to believe in. And at the end of the day, still come together, sit at the same table, crack jokes, and have fun. But there's so much dividing us right now. And we shouldn't be divided at all. We're supposed to be united. Let me know what you guys think about today's video in the comment section. That'll be a wrap for today's video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.